if you could share where you are joining this live event from. I'm living a dream, a long-term dream. It's supposed to be 6 months, but I will settle for 2. Yes, it's very nice. I love, and I'm not on the busy tourist areas. I'm living like the locals. I rented an apartment away from all this tourists, but I take the time to get into the subway and visit 2 or 3 places every week. I can't forget that I'm here to work, right? But at least I get a lot of inspiration. Okay, let's start. First, I want to welcome everybody to this incredible Insight Timer event. Insight Timer is one of the best sites for meditators, for people in mindfulness, because it creates this opportunity for all of us to find what we're looking for, help, support spirituality, everything. And today we are going to continue to talk about the 9 powers of women. And in the first one, first I apologize for last week. The site kind of takes in account where you are, not where you are from. So instead of booking for this time last week, I booked for much later, and that will really not work for most people. And like I said, today we'll continue to talk about the 9 powers of women. Today we'll talk about the power of compassion, authenticity, and intuition. If you were at the first event, could you just, put a little hands or let me know if you were in the first event? And if not, don't worry, because the recording of the first event is going to go up live sometime today. I'm just waiting for a few things to clear, and it will be on my website, and you will find it easily. So the agenda for today, right? We are going to start with a meditation so we can all kind of be grounded in our space and set the space and the energy for us to hear what we need to hear, see what we need to see, and have the insights to do what we need to do. So it will be very helpful for you to get a pen and paper. A journal will be better, so you can go back to the notes you take. But be aware that because we are opening this energy with the meditation, your space, your awareness will be augmented, and things that you may be thinking about but not giving you full attention may come up into full awareness. It was going to be like your soul, your spirit is saying, this is it. This is what you need to do. So be mindful. I just got some chills, so that means that the angels are agreeing with me. All right, so we'll start with the meditation. We're going to go to a really quick review about the last class about nurturing, creativity, and compassion, because I forgot one thing about each of them. Then we're going to remember what the divine feminine is all about, because the 9 powers of women is not about strength. It's also about the divine feminine that has a different kind of strength. We are going to talk about the power of compassion, authenticity, intuition. In each of those powers, you're going to have some kind of work or practice that you can do to improve your own powers and improve your connection with the divine feminine. And then we're going to learn, we're going to end with the meditations. In the first event, I thought, you're going to do questions at the end. However, questions were coming along as I was talking about each of the powers. And that actually was helpful for everyone because I realized that the questions one person had, other people had them too. So feel free to write your questions, and I will definitely do my best to answer all of them. Okay. So let's start. Please uncross your arms, your legs. If you can put your feet on the floor, will be great. We're gonna just start with a little meditation. Let me just put my music on here. Come on. All right, so let's start again. Here we go. All right. Let's take 3 breaths just to tell our body that this is the time to relax. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Another one. You can close your eyes. You can relax your shoulders. We tend to put a lot of pressure on our shoulders. We're going to do 3 more breaths, but this time we're going to say to ourselves, this is a sacred space as we inhale and exhale. This is a sacred space. Exhale. This is a sacred space. Exhale. This is a sacred space. As you sense your space, we're going to say to ourselves, I am safe and supported. Again, inhale. I am safe and supported. One more time. I am safe and supported. The last 3 breaths of this meditation, we're going to say to ourselves, we are open to hear what we need to hear. Inhale. We are open to hear what we need to hear as we exhale. We are open to hear what we need to hear. And the last one, we are open to hear what we need to hear. And so be it. Thank you. So, the last time we talked about the 3 powers: power of nurturing, power of creativity, and power of confidence. And I forgot to tell that every time you feel that you need to improve your power of nurturing, usually with money issues, you're not getting enough rest, you are stressed, burnout, it helps to use the color red. Ideally, you want to wear red underwear. It could be a red scarf, a red pants, a red bra, but the red really helps you engage with that center, which is the first center. Creativity is the orange, right? So when you're feeling a little down, feeling bored, you are a little depressed, the orange can help. Not a lot of people have anything orange, but I always recommend with my Feng Shui clients to have orange pillow or orange figurine somewhere. And you don't have to wear that, but you can put in your purse, you can take to work that particular day, all right? And for the power of confidence, especially if you are going for an interview, if you're making a pitch, if you have a difficult conversation with a loved one or at work, wearing the yellow helps your confidence because it gives more power to your third center, and that's the yellow color that activates that. All right, that's what the three things I forgot. So the divine feminine. All right, for those people who are not here last week at the last event, the divine feminine, what is the divine feminine? The divine feminine is this energy, this awareness that all women have. Some of them are not as alive as others. And we need to connect with the divine feminine just because the divine feminine is part of our contribution to the world. If the world is still very masculine as it is right now, the divine feminine calls for expansion. However, over centuries, women have always been considered to be a distraction, someone to bear heirs, not important. I mean, not too long ago, we are not allowed to vote. Women could not own bank accounts or money or property unless it had to be by their fathers or their spouse, and if they didn't have any of those, were the brother. Women were forced into marriage because they were considered to be a burden for the family. And if a man will take a woman out, especially the majority of the people in the world, they were not wealthy that had money doubts to give to somebody to take a woman as wife. So women, actually there was a particular year, 1966, and I know that because I study Feng Shui and show that in China, a lot of women had abortions because they couldn't afford to have a baby that was a girl, because it was considered a bad thing that particular year, because women born in that year were considered to have a wild spirit, was the horse of fire. And the horse of fire, even though it was beneficial for the particular person or baby, or even the men, was not for their family if that baby was a woman. So you have read in the past that women, when they had their periods, they're considered to be impure. They had to be put in the other side. It's still today in some Orthodox religious, women are not allowed to sleep in the same bed with the men because they have their menses. And the way we can improve this misconception about women, yes, we can write books like I do, we can create meditations, we can attend protests, we can write on our blogs, we can do all that. But energetically, when we embrace more of our own femininity, we are improving the energetic divine feminine in the world, in the universe. And as we go into all of the 9 areas of that really impacts the divine feminine and own them, and as authentic as we can be at a particular date and time. Ideally, we want to do this every day, but when we embrace it in our own lives, we are impacting our daughters, our sisters, our community. And today, as we talk about the power of authenticity, you're going to see that way more reflected in our lives. We can kind of, you may feel that you live in your home, in your community, that people do accepted women. Your husband loves you, your children loves you, you have daughters, you have your mother, you have sisters, but there are some biased beliefs from men and women about women. So the divine feminine is our mindful way to expand that awareness that women matter, that we women are the heart of humanity. Nothing happened until a woman does something. And when I say that, a lot of men look at me funny, and I say, your mother was your first home. Nothing would happen if your mother didn't have you. So the world, the life started with a woman. So as we honor this, let's talk about the power of compassion. The power of compassion is aligned with the color red, so I don't forget, the color pink or green, right? It could be a little lighter tones of red, but those are the colors that impact. I love pink, so I use pink a lot for compassion, but you can also use the color green. So why is the power of compassion important? First, what is compassion? Compassion means to suffer together. Compassion means to suffer together. And women really do suffer together when they see other people suffering. It goes straight to our heart. It is connected with our heart chakra. And we can feel easily that the problem with the power of compassion is that we feel compassion for everyone, but not ourselves. I'm going to repeat this because it's really, really important. I remember one time talking about compassion, and a woman said, I feel compassion for myself. And then we are asked to look at, what do you really love about yourself? What do you really love about yourself? And many women, when we ask that, we think about, my breasts are too big or too small, my hair is not as straight, my eyes are not pretty, my eyes are too close together, my nose is too big or too small, my mouth, my teeth is not straight, whatever we feel. And those little micro thoughts that we have, like when we look, you pass by the mirror and we see, oh my God, my hips, I gained some weight, my belly's too big, I gotta do some sit-ups. All of those things are things that in little tiny drops begins to erode our self-compassion. And it's so much easy for women who doesn't have a good level of self-compassion to dedicate themselves to others. So we give all our love to our children, all our love to our lover and spouses, our parents, our friends. We take the shirt out of our back and give it to somebody, and we forget about ourselves. So how can we have more self-compassion? How can we have more self-compassion? The first way we look at where we don't have self-compassion for ourselves. And I'm just going to give you some examples to see if you feel that too. Now, when you don't sit down to eat, it's a little micro lack of self-compassion. When you are so tired, but you bite the bullet and you do the laundry late at night. You are doing the dishes because you don't want to get up in the morning and see them there. You, like my younger daughter used to spin this on me when she was younger. The night before, after I got home at 8 o'clock and said, oh, I have a project due tomorrow and I need a poster board. And then you exhausted, but you get in the car and you drive to the store and you get the poster board and you get home and stay up with her until she finished the project. Other times, we are not treated well by our lovers, our partners, and we allow that boundaries that we have of self-compassion to go out a little bit more, or even open up so people can go over that. And you may be thinking right now, so I have enough self-compassion, right? For myself. I don't do that. I don't do this. But the best way for you to know what is your level of self-compassion right now, because if it's great, amen, wonderful, let's just model more of that. But if it's not, it's through our loved one, our partner. So if you are feeling a little discomfort about your relationship with your partner, if you're feeling a little bit not loved, and I'm not talking about just flowers, bomb loving, and gifts and dinners and tutors and all that. I'm talking about on a daily basis that love that comes in with, a kiss, a touch. If you're not having that from your partner, because they mirror to you your self-love, right? So I'm going to repeat this, right? Your partner mirrors to you your level of self-love. Nomi just said, I'm struggling with self-compassion. And again, I'm going to read some of the things. If you don't want me to share with everybody, just put a little note. This is just from you and me, and I don't even say your name, right? But you said, I'm generous with compassion for others, but I need to turn it onto myself. My partner has left me, and especially with a special needs teenager, and I have everything to do right now. So Debbie, this is for you after 25 years, okay? First thing, self-compassion, right? Even though our partner is mirroring to us our level of self-compassion, this is not your fault. This is not for you to blame it. So the first thing we need to do is give ourselves some love. Give some love. The first thing we learned in the last class about nurturing was a way for us to give self-love, right? Daddy, I know is going to be very, very, very hard, and people are sending you some hearts, some love right now. So if you guys can just send some love to Deb, because she's going to need a lot of self-compassion, right? It's not the end of the world, and today this self-compassion is for you. And because one of the things I learned in spirituality is that we need to see the things that happen in our life as a lesson, right? After so many years together, he leaves you, and there's a lesson in there for you to learn, but it starts with self-compassion. After the anger, the resentment, the rage, all of those settles down, you will need to embrace and start giving yourself more love. I tell you, if that happened to me, I would be devastated. But I also had to raise my children by myself. I had very, very little help from my ex-husband, from their father. And And for many years, I just worked to give them the best life they could and spend my time with them. Work, children, work and children. And I ended up burned out. So I'm going to ask you, Debbie, to set in your calendar once a week, every week, where you need to clock out from being a parent of a special needs teenagers. Actually, teenagers is more than one. So, and do something for yourself, even if you need to ask a neighbor, a friend, 2 boys, right? If you need to ask a neighbor, a friend, a family member to watch them, to be with them, to supervise them, so you can do something for yourself. And if you don't have the resources, this is when you're going to walk on a beach, you're going to walk on a park, you're going to go to the movies, and you're going to find something, even if it is a cartoon, something for you to just laugh, because you need to give yourself time. And by walking away from the life as it is even for 2 or 3 hours a week is going to give you the resources for you to reconnect again. I tell you, if you could, take your boys for a walk in green spaces. I don't know what you are, but find a park. We're going to go a little hiking. We're going to go flat. But just being in green spaces for 15, 30 minutes is ideal every week. 30 minutes this is not just for her, it's for everybody. 30 minutes in walking green space, it gives you this recharge of your heart. Plus, green spaces in the winter, go to evergreens. It recharges your heart. It recharges your heart. I'm also gonna give you it's not on my plans here, but I am going to give at the end, if we have time, a little practice that I do when I drive and when I'm not feeling at my best, that really recharges my heart and recharges my emotions. Because if we are too stressed all the time, we can't think straight. We make the wrong decisions. And women who overdo, overthink, overfeel, they are more stressed than others. And what happens to them is that vision becomes very narrow like this. So when we are open and unstressed, we can see all around. The answer is right there and you can see it. But when you stress, you have tunnel vision. The answer is right there, stepping on your feet, and you can't see it. So by walking away from your obligations on a weekly basis, 2 hours, 3 hours, this is for everybody, especially mothers, single mothers of small children. We love them, but you are no good for anybody if you're not well. Remember, when you are well, everyone around you are well, okay? So how do we rectify this lack of self-compassion, of self-love? Because we see a situation happening on the other side of the country and on the other side of the world, and we feel for those people. So how can we feel the same way for ourselves? And this is first, right? By forgiving, right? So if yesterday I did eat well, I felt depressed, I sat down in the front of the TV and ate potato chips and ice cream all day and watched all the Hallmark movies about relationships. And it's okay, by the way, because I have done it, right? I have done it. Mine is not ice cream, is crackers with cheese and salami with butter, right? So I know, and I watch cartoons. So this is my pick-me-up, and I give some, with all full disclosure, not everybody is always up and up and up. The days we have, we're going to give those days, and we're going to have compassion and forgive ourselves. and pick up the next day, right? If our house is a mess, we're going to give ourselves compassion and we're going to pick up one room at a time. Maybe not today, starting tomorrow, because our space really helps us. And self-compassion happens in many levels. But the one I think it's more important is the one that we look in the mirror and we see. Louise Hay used to do that. I learned this many years ago when I got into Louise Hay. You Can Heal Your Life. Talks about mirror works. And I remember that the first time I looked in the mirror, I couldn't really not look in my eyes. I had so many ideas of my flaws, my lines in my foreheads, my lips were too big, my breast was too big, my belly was always there, even before I didn't have kids. So all of these things are really, really hard. And like a little drop every day after 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 57 as I am right now, if I continue to do this every day, that bucket is overflowing from those drops. So to rectify, pick up a mirror, and everything you ever criticize, you spend there about 15 minutes and say, forehead, I really love you. My eyes, your eyes are beautiful. My eyes are beautiful. I really love you. I thank you for allowing me to see. My nose, big, small, crooked or not, I love you because you allowed me to breathe. You go by each part of your body and it starts with the one that you have the most problems. I used to be a really active kid, and my knees, I have so many scars on my knees that I used to not like them, and I started with all the scars first. One time I counted how many scars I had, and I had to tell somebody how many scars I had from being a very active child for a girl, which is not the way to be. All right. So this is the exercise for you. Get the mirror, acknowledge every single part of yourself that you have denied, and love them. And for maybe the first day is going to be difficult. The second day gets a little bit better and better and better. And then one day you're going to just nonchalant walk by a mirror and say, I love you. I really love you. And that's what we know, that the self-compassion is growing inside of us. Okay? All right. We are now going to the power of authenticity. The power of authenticity is the way we express ourselves to the world. Is connected with our throat chakra. And the color light blue is the color that helps you be yourself. So we know when we are not being authentic, when we gotta fit in because of a belief we have or a belief somebody else has that we are attached to. So in my book, The 9 Powers of Women, it has a long chapter because we talked about the 7 shells that we have to break to become more authentic. Now, your level of authenticity is up to you, but there are 7 shells that we have to look, and the way we do this is by getting a journal. All right, and I'm going to give you the 7 shells, and you're going to write them down. I'll go slowly so you can write them down because it's a long process. It's something that you may take many hours for you to go through all those shells that you need to break. When this practice was given to me in meditation, because my books are always spiritual guided, when they told me to do this, because if you are going to put yourself out there, you got to be authentic, and And I have so many different interests, and that people look at me and say like, oh, Anna is all over the place. And I'm not. This is who I am, and I'm honoring it. But the first shell is the shell of ancestors. Our ancestors believed in a lot of things. Like back then, white marry white, black marry black, Jewish marry Jews, Presbyterian marry Presbyterian. This is what our parents and grandparents believe that has some kind of influence on us. Maybe we already broke that shell, The second shell is the mother. Right? Mother is our first home. And we start assimilating a lot of our mother's belief when we are in her belly, in her womb. So if she didn't believe in some things when she was pregnant, especially, it passed it on to you. As you're growing older, we're very attached to the mothers. Mama or dada is the first words we say. And we learn a lot of things from our mothers by osmosis. She doesn't have to sit with us and tell us, 1 + 1 = 2. You can see it. And sometimes you don't even know. And as we grow older, our mother will look at us a certain way. We know exactly what she thinks, how she feels about one thing or the other. The third shell we need to break is our father. Okay, our father is our first love, and either your father was present in your life or not present. They are our first love, and that impacts how we feel about love. Is one of the shells that we're going to talk about at the end. But it's also the protection. Is our sense of protection. So whatever you did from your father or didn't give you, there's a shell that we need to break. Okay. The next shell is the lover, is our relationship, is the man we are married. Even if we marry 2 or 3 or 4, 10 husbands, some of them will give us will influence some of our authenticity, because we want to be in our relationship. We want to be married, especially. If our authenticity is not intact, we tend to assimilate some of the beliefs of our partner. Politicians, religions, ideas about judgments about others. We tend to assimilate that. And I tell you, I was married, and at the end of my marriage, I didn't know who I was. Trying to keep the peace, it was part of the self-compassion, allowing my boundaries to be opened. Little by little, our partner can influence who we become. So when we're looking at ourselves, our authenticity, and breaking the shells, we need to find out if whatever we believe about everything is that ours or from our partners, or from our mothers, our fathers, our grandmothers, especially if you're close to them. The next shell for us to break is the tribe. The tribe is our community, is our group of friends. I was in a group this week, and a woman was talking about her friends who were stay-home moms, and she worked, and she was pregnant, and everybody was giving her the advice of, if you can't afford to be home, stay home. If your husband can afford to support you, do that, because you're never going to miss those days. You're never going to get those days back. You're going to miss those lovely days, and so on. And she was an executive. She had a really good job. She loved what she did. She felt that she had a lot more to accomplish. She just stayed quiet. And she shared that she resented the kind of advice other women was giving, because everyone is their own mother. And our children ask the mother out of us, for those who are mothers. And if those who are not mothers, those are your motherhood is your projects, your pets, your causes, right? So let's be careful that our friends, because we want to be accepted. No one was born to be alone in a room and not have friends, right? So be aware of how the tribe can influence. And this is one of the things. And many times what you can do is either not participate of that group or pick and choose who we want to be friends with, right? But again, the first step is find out if your tribe has different ideas about who you are, right? The next one is religion, all right? I was born Catholic. I was the voice in a microphone singing in church. I was a Sunday school teacher. And today, if you come to my home, there's Buddhas everywhere. I barely go to church because of one thing I heard, but I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. So, and I am absolutely grateful for the Catholic Church where I grew up because they saved our family many, many times with the groceries. It saved all me and my siblings from despair, from the things that were going on in our house. It gave us hope and really supported. So I'm not putting down any religions. But some of the religions are tough. And I tell you, the one that I'm aware is purgatory. You know, the Catholic talks about purgatory. I don't believe in purgatory. So pay attention if your religious is impacting your authenticity, what it is that you believe. And by the way, I believe that all religions goes to the same, they meet at the end. They all have the same goals by different ways. But again, they can impact your authenticity. And the last one is yourself. You gotta break yourself. How are we gonna break ourselves, right? When things happen, especially when we are younger, we make conclusions, we make decisions. And I'll share one of the decisions that I did that cost me a lot through my career, not to my life. And an example, when I was 15, 16, I really wanted my parents to get divorced. I couldn't stand the way my father treated my mother and treated us. I think I believe he was a tyrant. Now, I know that he is one of my teachers to teach me. If it wasn't for him, I would not be doing my work, which is to uplift and support and educate women. But that's what I wanted. And I was dating this boy, and people who are abused, they learn to read the environment faster than anybody. You walk anywhere and a child of abuse, a child with trauma, they start looking for, is everything okay or is that not okay? And one of the things I noticed was that this boyfriend, he would kind of start distance. And what I did is the moment I felt that, I broke up with him. And then I learned out of that, I would break up with every single boyfriend the moment I felt that something was off. And that's a decision that I made. That is a shell that I had to break because the decision that I made was, do not trust men. Do not trust men. And that decision attracted me to find men that I couldn't trust. So I could say, see, I'm right. So when you look, and this is the most important shell that you have to break, is the conclusions you have about something. If you believe in, if you don't believe in God, or if you believe in God, if you don't believe in religion, what are your thoughts about love? What are your thoughts about how raising kids? All of those things that you need to look into yourself and find out if you need to adjust your level of authenticity, your shell, if you need to break the shell. So how do we break the shell? Okay. It's a journal, right? So you can start with any areas of your life that you have the most trouble right now. Usually I see is relationship, money, and career. Women always start with that. Relationship, money, and career. You start with those three, and then you can go to others. Maybe health usually is the fourth one. But you start looking at, there are other ones, and I'll tell you, there are 9 areas of your life, and I know I use them as, through the Feng Shui guide that 9 areas of your life. Education and spirituality, friendship and travel, creativity, family, and recognition are the other ones, right? So pick one that you have the most problem and said, what do I learn? What is my belief about that? And where do I learn that from? Is that from you? Is that from your parents? And is that who you are today? After all these years, because we grow, we transform, we become somebody else. Is this something that you still believe? And if it is, fantastic, great. If it is not, you got to break. And how do you break that shell? You break them with action. For example, in my situation, when I told you that I made a decision that I don't trust men, and I attracted men that could not be trustworthy, in order for me to break the shell, I had to change my belief. And my belief was, there are men that are trustworthy. There are men that are trustworthy. And now I'm going to start looking for them. Because the last step is, what is the cost if you don't change your belief? What is the cost to you and to the people around you if you don't change your belief? And for me I was teaching this to my daughters, right? I was teaching them to be on the tippy toes, always, walking eggshells. We start looking for everything. And that's not a way to be. That's not a way to be. So when I made the decision that there were men trustworthy, and I believed it. First, I found, I actually started looking at my life and said, who are people that you can trust? And I found a number of friends of mine that they were trustworthy. Even my brothers. A lot of my brothers are trustworthy, and especially in the area of relationship and financial responsibility and all that. So I found other people that could, and that helps my belief, right? So my action was to put myself out there and then finding somebody that I believe was trustworthy. And I did attracted somebody that was that. And we've been together now for almost 14 years, right? So, and we do this with every other shell, right? I'm just going to repeat them really quick. Ancestors, our parents and grandparents, what they learned from their generations, especially if they are from different countries. Our mother, our father, our lover, our religion, our tribe, and ourselves. 7 shells, right? So do this work on your own, and you see that you will become more authentic. Okay. Now, mother for you, yes. So let me just say one thing about the mothers. The relationship of mothers and daughters are very unique. I'm going to ask you, if you did not listen to the first one, go back and listen to that. Because we are running out of time and I don't want to, but learn what you learned from your mother, because sometimes we feel like, oh, she believes in red, I believes in white, or black and white, or up and down. It's not like that. Sometimes you may think that you believe totally opposite, but there are some similarities there. Go and find them and change what you need to change, and see what happens. Now, intuition. Intuition is my favorite power. Everybody has a power of intuition, even men, right? It's estimated that 70-80% of people, men and women, hear their intuition. But the percentage of women take actions on their intuitions way more than men. Men will look for the fact, the logic. If the logic is telling them to go right, they're totally going to ignore the intuition. And a lot of women, because of the way we grew up, if we grew up in houses that they were very logical, instead of feeling, there was no touch of feeling, men don't cry, why are you crying too much, that kind of environment, you may have a hard time trusting your intuition, but your intuition is there. The question that we all need to ask is each inner voice we hear the voice of intuition? Because some of the voices are not intuition, it's the voice of fear. Remember when I said that I used to be evaluating the room for what was wrong? That is based on the fear of not wanting to be hurt, not wanting to be vulnerable. And the voice of intuition and the voice of fear are two different voices. So how do we know? The voice of intuition is calm. You know, if you could right now count from 1 to 5 in your head, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just in your head. That's the tone of intuition. You know the next number coming in. There's no 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It's very calm. That's the tone of intuition. It never tells you, it never's going to scream at you. It's never going to make your heart beat too hard, create anxiety. That's the voice of fear. So listen to their voice. Now, we all have them, and we may not take action. The way for you to grow your connection with intuition is by acknowledging it. Let's say that today you're going out, and then you look at the umbrella sitting over there, and you think, I should take an umbrella, and then you go, no, it's not going to rain. And you go out and rain. Was that the voice of intuition? Absolutely. Absolutely. So when it rains in the streets and you left the umbrella at home, you can say to yourself, I heard you, but next time I'm going to follow your advice. Just say that to yourself. Excuse me. Or you can say that out loud. I do it all the time. Or it's the other way around. You saw the umbrella in the corner. You took the umbrella, put it in the car. It's raining. And then that's when you say, thank you. You acknowledge the intuition. You acknowledge taking a step. When you act on the hunch, people call it hunch, I call it intuition. That thought is very light. It's just like a breeze went by. It's very light, and you gotta pay attention. If you didn't pay attention, and then later on you discover that you should have acknowledged, oh, thank you for giving me that thought or that action. I will pay better attention next time. You can even go a little further and say, especially in the beginning, can you nudge me twice? Can you nudge me 3 times? Until you pay attention. But this is, as you can see, as you will witness with intuition, it will become so much more acute in your life. It's going to be amazing. And I tell you, I do this all the time. Sometimes I would just ask. And if I am too stressed, if I'm too invested, I either let you do a meditation, take a shower, get up in the morning and ask that question again. But if you have something important that you need to make a decision and you need the power of your intuition to do so, when you first get up in the morning, before anything, you open your eyes, you can ask yourself the question and you know the answer, because you are in the alpha level, a state that is so high that you bypassing all the beta crazy energy of the day, the problems of the day. So use your intuition more than anything else. And people say, oh, I want logic. Look, I I bought houses, I buy stocks, I do investments, and yes, I do my numbers. I do the financial part. But before I close any paper, I ask. There was a particular house a few years ago that my husband and I were looking. We're not when we're first moving in together, and he liked the particular house. And knowing the shells and stuff, I know he loved that house. He loved the street. The first house I loved, he really hated. And we know that if you're not happy in a particular place, if any of the husband or the wife is not happy, don't go for it. I knew that. So he was so against a particular house that I had too much work to do and so on. So he looked at the second house. And I was kind of, I don't know. And I did not know if I was so excited to move in with him because this is what I wanted. And I was creating, and I was opening my boundaries. So I didn't know. I went to take a nap. And then when I got up with the nap, I asked myself, and the answer was no. So we turned that house down. So use that, right? Use your intuition. Learn the voice of intuition, which is fantastic. Okay. Intuition is the indigo blue. So if you need to work with your intuition, if you are having actually a really difficult conversation with somebody, wearing some indigo blue around you, even in your throat, on your scarf, on your shirt, it helps you connect, because sometimes with our children, with our partners, we need to pick up the clues that they are not saying. Okay. All right, so we are now going to do a meditation for the divine feminine around those nine, not the 9 areas, but the 3 areas that we worked with today, which is the heart, compassion, the throat, authenticity, and the third eye, which is intuition. All right. So I'm going to put a little song for us. We're going to go a little over time, but stay with me. Okay, I'm going to take my scarf because it's getting a little hot in here. Again, uncross your legs, uncross your arms. We're going to take 3 deep breaths to connect with divine feminine. We're going to call our attention to the sky, where our own personal star is at. And we're going to invite the healing light from the divine feminine coming from our own personal star. It could be a golden and white light. It could be green. It could be pink. Whatever color your spirit is calling for right now. And we're going to welcome that light into the top of our head, going down through our bodies, circulating around our eyes so we can see what we need to see. The light is going down, coming out through our ears, so we can hear what we need to hear. The light is going down our throat and is going to circulate around our throat so we can say what we need to say safely. It's going down through our heart so we can open our heart so we can feel more self-compassion. The light's gonna go down our gut and clear our gut so we can have more confidence. And it's going down through our belly button and circulate around our belly so we can have the creativity to create the life we envision. And as the light goes down around our hips and it circulates around our sex organs, and there we found grounding, so we learn to nurture ourselves better and better every day. The light goes down through our legs, knees, and calves, and feet, and exit through our toes, going down into the earth. And this divine light is going down and down and down, taking every energy that doesn't belong to us to Mother Earth, so Mother Earth can clear and transmute this energy. We're going to take 3 breaths as we ask Mother Earth to continue to clear this energy for us. See Mother Earth sending the light back up, a totally clear, healing energy back to us, coming up through the earth, up, 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 entering our feet, coming up our torso, our calves, our knees, our legs, all the way around our hips, coming up our belly, our gut, and is going to rotate around our heart center, around our heart. We're going to transform the light into a pink or green, in addition to the gold, and is going to circulate 9 times around our heart with each breath. I will count the breaths for you. 1. See the light circulating around your heart area. Keep breathing. 2. 3. 4. See the light energizing your heart center, improving your power of compassion. 5. 6. Feel more self-compassion. 7. More and more self-compassion around your heart. 8. 9. Now the light is going to move up to your neck. And this time, the gold and white light will bring in a light blue light that's going to circulate around your neck 9 times to improve your power of authenticity. Breathe in and out. 1. 2, 3. See the light circulating and improving your power of authenticity. 4. Giving you the steps to break all the shells you need to break. 5. 6. See the shell getting broken one by one, pieces of it. 7. The light becomes really bright, light blue and gold. 8. Energizing your center so you can say what you need to say, always with authenticity. 9. Now the light is gonna go up around your third eye. And we're going to breathe 9 times. The blue light is now replaced by an indigo blue, a navy, a dark blue, along with the white and golden light of the divine feminine. 1, let's breathe in and out and see the light circulate around your eyes. 2, 3. See your third eye opening. 4. Allow your intuition to be present. 5. 6. 7. Ask your intuition to nudge you more times if you don't pay attention. 8. 9. Now the divine light goes up through the top of your head and going back to your own personal star. It's going up and up. Know that your divine feminine is here to help you anytime you need. You just need to ask. I'll be quiet so you can hear any last minute guidance you need to hear today. Ask the divine feminine to give you one action you can take this week that is aligned with your purpose, your mission, your most inner desire. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Make sure you take the notes of any advice you receive today. You can rub your hands. I want to thank you for being here with me today and improve the divine feminine energy in the world. Okay. That feels good. So I will schedule the last part of the 9 powers of women, which are the power of beauty, and it's nothing to do with the being gorgeous, hair, eyes, none of that. The power of healing and generosity. And if you felt that this program gave you value, I would love for you to donate what you can afford. This helps us at Insight Timer continue to do free content so more people can be practicing mindfulness. The last thing I'm going to do, which I had promised, is offer a practice that I do. And this, for Debbie, I think it was Debbie, right? Yes. Yes, Debbie. Deb. So, Debbie, I'm going to call you Debbie. I feel close to you already. And when you are driving, if you are on the bus, being the metro doesn't work, but if you're driving, if you're going somewhere, and on the days that you're not feeling really good, and I can say I meditate every day. There are very, very few days in that I don't meditate, but this is because I need to do some kind of a deep spiritual practice, or something has to come up for me. But the days that I'm not feeling my best, I get a bad news, or I don't, I didn't want to go to work, which really doesn't happen anymore for me. But I had a disagreement with an employee or my partner or my children, and I'm not feeling my best, and I'm driving. So what I do is I don't stop from holding the wheel and looking what I'm looking, but I find green trees. And so even in the winter, Canada, I know your winters are pretty tough, but you can find the evergreens. You find an evergreen, and then you start breathing the evergreen through each one of your chakras. I start with on the top of my head, the crown center. I see a tree, and I imagine my breath coming from the tree, coming in and out of my chakra. So I see that tree and sending me energy in and out. And I do this 3 times. Then I go to my third eye chakra 3 times, the green. I don't do this with the hand. I'm driving, and I look at one tree, and then I see in my inner eyes the messages, the energy of the tree coming through me. Then I do through my throat, then my heart. And by the time I get to my heart, so you do 3, 3, 3, 3 in your heart. By the time I get to the heart, I see there is already a difference. Then I continue with my third chakra, right, around my gut, then my belly, and the ovaries. I also go a little further, and you're going to learn that in the next session. Because we have 2 small heart chakra in our hands, and one that helps with the power of healing, and the other with the power of generosity. So I do also with the hands, And then after I do 3 in each of those chakras, including the hand chakras, I do it one time where I see the tree sending the light all the way through my body going to the earth. And then I look at another tree and I see the root of that chakra, of that tree, coming in through my feet all the way to my body, coming out. And I do this 3 times. In through the sky, coming in through my body, all the way through my body, exiting my feet, going into the earth, and the earth roots, sending the energy all the way up through my legs, my torso, coming out into the head 3 times. And this is, it's very, very powerful. You can do it any day, every day. The days you didn't sleep well, the day that you have something important to do at work. And what I notice is that's self-compassion. The word of the day, right? Self-compassion. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for being with you. Dab, by hearts with you, right? Reach out if I can support you in any way. More people are sending love to you, and you're going to do this. You're going to do this well with the support of everybody here today and your own inner spirit. Right? Thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Ooh, so many hearts. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.